and this is my colleague Joshua.
What's up?
And we have 3 questions today, brought to you by the subscribers, and Joshua is going to read off the questions to you and me.
So we got some questions from people pertaining to like working out and stuff.
Okay.
I've heard people talk about tension. What is it?
So tension is just the amount, how much you squeeze. You know, your brain can't tell the difference between a 20-pound and a 40-pound weight. So tension is how much you squeeze and contract the muscle compared to not squeezing. So anyone can just go through the range without creating tension.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that like there's different kinds of tension.
Right, so you have isometric holds,
Yeah.
where you're just holding and you're squeezing. You got tension where you can go down slow, so tuck training, you know, creating tension there because it's a lot harder to do things in slow motion.
Yeah,
And then you got drop sets where you're just going so much and then you take off the weight and you're going so much and then you're so fatigued that, you know, you can't do anymore, and that's another form of tension. That's a good question.
Nice.
Next question.
See, what is range of motion and how is it beneficial?
So that's great. So a lot of people you'll see do partials throughout all the exercises where they're doing half of a range. So mind you, you want to have an eccentric and a concentric phase. So you, like a rubber band, when you're doing the exercise, you want to go from A to B, you know, and fully lengthen the muscle, and then fully contracting it. So that actually goes alongside with tension. So when you're doing a bicep exercise, I see a lot of people do this versus fully extending, creating that lengthening, and then fully squeezing and contracting. So that would be what you want to do with the range of motion. And then when you fatigue, then you can do things like partial range of motion exercises, where you're just doing half of the exercise and still creating that tension. Great question, great question. And what's the last and final question for the week?
Is creatine needed for a good workout?
So creatine can be beneficial. You don't necessarily need to have it. It's in meat, you know, red meat, and red meat is very, very, very beneficial. So naturally, it's occurring. What creatine does is it helps to create and recycle ATP. ATP is the energy, you know, pretty much that your body needs to give you energy. Do you really need it? It's not necessary for the beginning student. I think a good protein is great, and maybe some vitamins, but that's something as you become more advanced you may look into, but nothing that a beginner would need.
Yeah, and well, how do you feel about products though that contain artificial flavors as well?
That's a great question, and a lot of people have been asking me that, and I haven't talked about them much, but now that more people are asking me, that's a great question. And nowadays with GMO, Monsanto, you know, if you're trying to be healthy and you're trying to consume a healthy product, then you shouldn't, you know, artificial flavors are not, you know, we're not made out of nuts and bolts. So, you know, we're not artificial. If you think about it, nature. You want to try, if you can stick to natural products, natural raw ingredients, you know, even the sugars, you want to avoid the artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, food coloring, dyes, preservatives, you know, binders, fillers, you know, anything like that, because that, you know, whoever the higher, whatever you believe in or whatever, I mean, that's not part of Earth. That's not natural. So anytime you look for a product that's supposed to benefit you, if you can do the best you can to look for natural products, you know, that would be great. And that's it for today, folks. Hopefully we wrapped it up. And feel free to comment at the bottom below with your next set of questions, and we'll answer them next week. All the best.
All right.